Hey, friends and family. Hey, loved ones. Hey, fools and magicians and gardeners and artists and creators, co creators and collaborators. Hey, how's it going? So, I just wanted to get on here for just a little bit before I leave town for a few days, and I'm, looking forward to that. And it's a gift I got to choose for me. And so it's just kind of funny. I was asked to go on this little artist's retreat, go to this workshop, and it's like for the weekend with some friends that I met not too long ago, and um, just really they're part of my soul tribe, and I'm just loving all the friendship vibes and just how the good feels of the intimacy and the authenticity and reciprocity, true generosity and receptivity and a willingness to be open and receive what I really need, and also show up and participate and be a part of my community. And so, it's just kind of funny. Like, this is a fun little trip I get to do, and almost didn't say yes to it because it was, I felt like, I might be uncomfortable, like there's all these reasons, like why I couldn't and why, maybe not to do it. But it was just so super funny. It's just like, this is what you want. Like, you want intimacy and you want friendship with other like-minded, beautiful souls, and like to try new things and adventuring. And here you go with this little workshop on your birthday weekend. And it was just like, well, I don't know. Am I gonna do anything else like familiar, or like family or friends in town? And do I want to leave my home and my bed and my husband for 2 days, and all that kind of stuff? And it was just like, you know what? It's up to you, but here you go. This is love for you. And I was just like, okay, what's stopping me really from saying yes to this? And it was just like, some of the old stories, like the social anxiety and the fear of discomfort and the fear of like wanting to avoid like intimacy and things like that. And so it's just like, oh, you're being silly, like if it's gonna stretch your comfort zones and it sounds like, fun and maybe a little challenging, like you can say yes to it. It's up to you though. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna say yes to this. And that was about, oh gosh, maybe 2 months ago. I was just, decided, yep, this is what I'm doing. It took me like a week or two to think about it. Like, well, I do want to do this, but and it was just like my ego and soul going back and forth. Like, I don't know, this is funny. But I'm super, grateful to go, learn some things and share some time and presence and space with some beautiful women, and experience some new things and celebrate this full moon window of amazing amazing opportunity to step into the new and to let go of the old, and let it all unfold, because wow, it just is all it is. And it gets to be like through this moment, through each moment, through all of we. And so just grateful. And it's just kind of funny too, where I've been in my cleanup process in the middle of that, and continuing that and nearing an end to that, like with certain things. So I do feel like accomplished and a job well done. I feel that satisfaction and that contentment and that fulfillment and at ease. I love having a clean, freshened space, and it just feels so nice. And it's funny though, it was almost like a compulsion to get some things done like this week. It just feels like a very, very like nesting energy So I go through those phases sometimes. But yeah, it's just like really just like hyper focused on creating the space or just getting things prepared, or yeah, just to create a certain feel, yeah, to clear the air or whatnot, and to open up the space for the new to be created or to be welcomed in. So yay, I'm excited. So there's been a lot of good things this week with my cleanup process, and yeah, I'm still processing some things, but I realized a few things as well, like when I was just contemplating, and I'll just, yeah, get curious and ask myself questions, and I'll have like little ahas and little insights, and oh yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about that, I'll remember that next time. So, um, yeah, I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah, there's a couple things, a couple fun things. Yes, work and play is not separate. That's one thing. It's just like yeah, if we can bring like a certain playfulness to the work that we're doing, and presence to it. It is joyful, and it is like satisfying, and it is it's rewarding on its own. Like the action we're taking is rewarding, not like the reward because we completed an action, but just like taking the action in itself. That I feel like, like, and enjoying that. So I did have like some tasks that felt like they were overdue and things like that. And it felt like kind of overwhelming because it seemed like it was a lot. But I just kind of reminded myself, oh yeah, break it up into small steps. And you don't have to go do it all in one go. Because that's like my old MO. It's to get in my own way like that. Like, it's got to be all or nothing. It's got to be this way or nothing. Yeah. And so I just like kind of getting out of my own way and letting that stuff go. Like, obviously I want to put pride into my work and do a job well done, and feel good about that. But yeah, little by little and bit by bit. So I had a bunch of plants that have been needing some attention. It seems like, wow, I'm just always taking care of them somehow. Like, I don't even know how many I have, but yeah, spread out throughout my home in different places. But yeah, there was quite a few that needed to be repotted, and I didn't get to it around the new moon last time. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna get out of my own way, like with how I think it needs to be, or like, yeah, and just like kind of work with it and see what I can do. And yeah, so the last couple days, yeah, just been, yeah, doing that. And yeah, I don't even know how many plants I actually had to have been, at least uh at least 10 or so, maybe even more. But like, I feel good about that and feel happy about that. And it was good, like, to get my hands dirty and get in the soil, and then like, and appreciate like making a big old mess, like, to create for the purpose of creating, and creating space, and creating like, yeah, that new container to grow, so life can grow in and expand in. So yeah, just all those good things. I always look at things in multiple ways, on multiple perspectives, and like through metaphor, and yeah, relating it to myself or what I'm experiencing, and or letting it show me, like, yeah, how I can apply it to my situation, or my learning and my circumstances, or yeah, what is. So I always appreciate those gifts and that love and that freedom to live and be and to learn as we go, and spontaneity. So yeah, I have been, yeah, just kind of a busy bee, attending to things like practical and the mundane, and like seeing the magic in it always. And so I've been working with color, and so color's been huge, like in the last couple weeks. But especially this last week when I just like keep noticing yellow keeps coming up. So it was kind of funny yesterday. My niece called me to read to me because, yeah, it's one of her things she gets to do, and an agreement with her parents about like how many minutes she gets to read a day. And sometimes she'll call me and she'll read me fairy tales and things. And she asked me what I wanted to hear out of like classic fairy tales, and so she was reading me the titles, and the third title that she read was called The Yellow Dwarf. And so I'm like, let's do that one because yellow keeps coming up for me. And so she said, okay, let's do that one. I said, have you ever read that one? She said, no, I haven't. So I said, okay, it'll be new for both of us. But I think now that, like, she had sent me a picture of the book because the Yellow Dwarf, yeah, she is like kind of blown away by how weird he looked. But yeah, it's looking at the picture. I know I've seen that picture before. And yeah, she only got through a little bit of the story, but some of it kind of was like, oh, isn't that interesting? So something about like a queen that had a daughter, and then the queen loved the daughter so much that she pretty much like let her get away with anything she wanted to the detriment of, herself. And I guess like there came a time where it was time for her to get married, and she knew like that dynamic had to shift and change. And so, yeah, there was some interesting things going on in that play, and this with this weird dwarf that came into the picture as well. But yeah, I thought it was super interesting, just how yellow keeps coming up in different ways, and like with the yellow seed and the yellow star and the yellow sun, yeah, the sunlight and the sunlight fluid. So I've been working with blue and yellow, and also like I had a nudge to get some lapis and some citrine to give away at my Luensaw circle, and I just like, yeah, wasn't exactly sure why, but I'm just like, yeah, that feels right, let's do that. And so later, after I bought the lapis, I looked up like the qualities and the healing properties of lapis, and I was blown away by that. Like, oh my gosh, I really like appreciate this. Like, I've always thought lapis was beautiful, and yeah, kind of wanted to have more of it in my life. And I was just like, you know what? Yeah, let's totally get a bunch of lapis and some citrine to share. And then I looked at citrine the other day, and oh wow, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. No wonder I was called to work with this, these two stones. So I get to bring some and share them, and yeah, offer them as gifts. And because yeah, they're the gifts. They're the gifts that are for giving, sharing, and receiving. And so I opened this book because I saw it on my shelf the other day, and I flipped it open earlier today, and I opened it to page 34. And at the top of this page, it says, its effective aspects are, talking about orange-red color, an orange-red color, desire, excitability, domination, and sexuality. And number 4, a bright yellow, represents spontaneity and is eccentric, active, projective, heteronomous, or heteronomous, I don't know, I'm going to have to look that one up. Expansive, aspiring, investigatory. Its effective aspects are variability, expectancy, originality, and exhilaration. And so I thought that was interesting, and just like started reading on past that, where it says concentric, concentric. Aha. Concentric means subjectively concerned, and though this has some of the connotations of introversion, it is not the same thing and should not be confused with it. People who are introverted are concentric. People who are introverted are concentric. But those who are concentric are not necessarily introverted. Concerned is to be, I'm losing my place, dang it. Let's start over. People who are introverted are concentric, but those who are concentric are not necessarily introverted in the usual meaning of the word. To be subjectively concerned is to be exclusively interested in that which is an extension of oneself, as well as being interested in the self, capital S. A person who is continually communicating to others might ordinarily be considered an extrovert, but it is found that the topic of conversation is invariably his stamp collection or his family, his wife, his children, his job, his trip to Europe. Then he is displaying concentricity, since he regards all these things as extensions of himself. Let someone try to bring the conversation around to topics of more general interest, and he will either interrupt or cease to listen. Eccentric means objectively concerned and is more nearly akin to extroversion than concentricity is to introversion. The eccentric individual is interested in the environment, in the things and people around him, either from the point of view of impinging on and causing effects on his environment, or of drawing his stimuli from the environment. If the former, he is being causative and therefore autonomous toward his environment. If the latter, he is being the effect of his environment and therefore heteronomous. Autonomy is thus the equivalent of being a cause, while heteronomy is equivalent to being an effect. Passive and active carry much the same meanings as concentric and eccentric, respectively. So that's interesting. Food for thought. And I'll look at that a little more, because I'm all about that personality, learning, and love the psychological,